If you walk the streets of Quarry Bay in the east of Hong Kong Island, there's one structure that dominates the neighbourhood. It sprawls across one large city block and rises 19 stories into the sky, casting a perpetual shadow over the streets below. The place I'm talking about is the Monster Building, a behemoth of an apartment block that in the past decade has become something of a local phenomenon, drawing in photo-minded tourists and Instagrammers who come here to capture this titanic epitome of Hong Kong's densely populated, grimy urban landscape. The name is well known across the city and beyond, but what's the story behind this place? And away from all the selfies and camera shutters, what's life like for the residents who actually call this place home? In this episode, we're gonna find out by taking a trip to explore the Monster Building to learn about its history. And along the way, we'll chat with one resident about his experiences and also take a tour of a typical apartment to try and get a grasp of what daily life is like here. So brace yourselves, because this one's a beast, and it's all coming up on Hong Kong Hoods. Hey guys, thanks as always for joining me. Today we're here at the Monster Building and I've been wanting to shoot a video here for a long time, so I'm so glad that it's finally happening. This place is just so iconic, it's so urban, so Hong Kong, and we are so lucky to have an interview with one of the Monster Building residents who's going to tell us what life is like here on the day-to-day. But before we head inside, let's first talk a little bit about the history of this place and the events that led to its creation. Due to civil unrest on the mainland in the 1950s and 60s, there was a huge wave of immigration from the mainland to Hong Kong. And with the influx of just more and more people coming every day, it put enormous strain on Hong Kong that at the time was a city that just wasn't built to accommodate that many people. Unable to find any kind of viable accommodation, the refugees started throwing up illegal squatter huts, and these eventually turned into illegal squatter villages, which in turn posed huge humanitarian concerns and just generally wasn't a good look for the Hong Kong government. To solve this problem, the government started a public housing campaign with huge apartment blocks built to house the city's swelling population. The aim of the game was cheap housing, and the developers behind the Monster Building were experts at it, cramming in as many units as building codes of the time would allow to create a complex that could house a ton of people at affordable prices. 15,000 Hong Kong dollars to buy one unit outright, in fact, which even for those times was remarkably cheap. Originally intended for completion in the mid-1960s, riots here in Hong Kong and a banking crisis delayed the mass move-in, but the Monster Building did eventually welcome its first residents in August 1972, spread between its 5 blocks: Montaigne Mansion, Oceanic Mansion, Yik Fat Building, Yik Chong Building, and Fuk Chong Building. At its peak, this place is believed to have been the most densely populated apartment complex on Earth. And even today, it comprises some 2,500 apartments that are home to around 7,000 people. As we said in the intro, in recent years, this place has become ingrained in the popular imagination as perhaps the symbol of Hong Kong's unique brand of urbanity and population density. Thanks in no small part to Hollywood movies like 2014's Transformers: Age of Extinction and the 2017 movie Ghost in the Shell being filmed here. Although extremely photogenic in its own way, this place is just so much more than an Instagram hotspot. So now let's head in and talk to LINGMUK', a Monster Building resident, about what life is like here and what it's like to live in what is undoubtedly one of Hong Kong's tiniest apartments. Let's do this.
Hello, come in. Hello, my name is Rimo. I was born and grew up in Japan, and I've lived in Hong Kong since 2019. And I'm enthusiastic Hong Kong lover and Cantonese lover as well. And I'm running a YouTube channel to tell as many Hong Kong people as possible about the hidden attractive spot in Hong Kong. And in terms of monster building, maybe 10 months ago, I moved to here to start my monster building life. Welcome to monster building. This place is one of the most representative place of like a Hong Kong historical building, I think. When I saw this building for the first time, I feel so shocked. Wow, such a huge building. Yeah, so that's why, okay, let's choose this place as my home.
How much is the rent here?
Including water and electricity and Wi-Fi, around 5,500 to 6,000, I think. The size of room is 100 square feet. I think even though here is very historical place, if I go underground, maybe you can find a shopping mall. So I can buy everything I want. Convenience is one of the good points living here, I think.
Hi.
I'm from like Pakistan, right?
So hot here.
Look at me, I'm so
Yeah.
hot.
So hot.
So sweaty.
There are many communities from many nationalities. Actually, I've met some neighbors from Thailand or Pakistan and from local as well. Yeah, actually their attitude to me was so good. Yeah, so friendly. You can find many people are playing the mahjong, something like playing board games. Yeah, so you can feel some like Monster Mansion's atmosphere. Yeah, I can feel a sense of community. Yes, that's right. You smell kind of like a curry smelling.
Yeah.
Maybe someone is cooking a curry or sometimes from here. This building has many nationalities. I can listen many languages every day. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So special place, I think. So actually, I don't have any complaint about living in here in terms of neighbors and the living environment. It's quite hard to find a bad point, but there are many air conditioners popping up, right? So at night, okay, you can listen some like air conditioner dripping water. Yeah, so kind of orchestra, like this. Yeah, so kind of natural orchestra I can hear. But I sleep well every day, so power outage is also one of the problem, I think. Yeah, no light. So it's kind of like a horror mansion like this. Yeah, so I felt so scary to go back to my home. Yeah, so oh my god. But only one time. Yeah, so it's okay. Actually, this part also I'm enjoying. When I started living here, at that time I couldn't get used to living here. Yeah, so small and narrow. But fortunately, I have a big kitchen space.
How do you sleep? I don't see a bed. What do you do?
Yeah, so it was not enough space to put the bed and the big desk, right? So I just put the mattress bed on the ground. Yeah, they actually sleep on the ground like every night. Yeah. When I started living here, of course, like, I couldn't sleep well. You see, because I couldn't get used to sleeping in the ground. So, but I already living in here for 10 months. So yeah, I already got used to. Of course, I hope to continue this building. Yeah, needs to conserve this place. Yeah, keep this place as a historical building. Yeah, so absolutely, if the Hong Kong people want to build this kind of building, this kind of huge building, maybe they cannot. I think maybe government doesn't allow them to build this kind of building. So please keep going on. Yes, and like please show the different aspect of Hong Kong to foreigners or to visitors. Yeah, I hope this monster building lives so long time for the future.
That was awesome to meet LINGMUK. He's really upbeat and clearly loving life here. And what a guy for showing us around and sharing so much about his daily life. Now let's try and navigate our way through this maze of walkways to our next stop on this monster building tour, where we'll learn more about the typical tenant's utilization of space and how to do more with less. So we've made our way through the monster building, and yes, we did get lost a couple of times going through these really narrow corridors, but right now we're about to head in to this apartment that we have been very kindly given the chance to look around. So let's do it. Okay, here we are. Mask off, shoes off, and slippers on. Let's do this. And immediately, when you come in here, you come straight to the bathroom. And it's not the biggest bathroom I've ever seen, but it's got everything you need. Sink, shower, toilet, all within literally an arm's reach of each other. Yeah, not bad. I'm beginning to see already that it's very utilitarian. It's about a mind state, this. You don't need all this space, as long as you've got the essentials. Check that out. Okay, let's go further into the apartment. Let's go. Watch your step, please. And we come through the corridor connecting the bathroom to the main section of the apartment. And yeah, here we are. First thing you've got when you walk in here is your kitchenette. And in this kitchenette, you've got all the essentials. You've got a sink, which is not wide, but to make up for that, it's quite deep. You've got enough space here to put your essential appliances. You've got your kettle, in this case, we've got an electric stove, got some little storage space here, cupboards to put all your essentials, just like you'd have in any other dwelling. And same under here, you've got your cupboards. Oh, and one thing that I really like about this, a beautiful little bit of space saving, is this bin. Check this out, this is really cool. So this little bin, this little dustbin, it's this cool little plastic thing. So you get a plastic bag from 7-Eleven or the supermarket or whatever, and you just attach it to this plastic thing, and it just opens and shuts like that. So that's super cool. It saves a ton of space, and it's super hygienic. How cool is that? So then a short walk from the kitchenette, you've got the living room. Sofa, TV, can watch TV from the sofa, fridge, and the drawers and surfaces, presumably for clothes and all your other possessions. Now you may be wondering, where is the dining table? Well, space saving 101. A lot of the folks around here will probably do something like this. Fold out table, put it here, fold it, boom, there you go. Now you can eat your dinner while watching TV. So again, very utilitarian, very space saving. And then when you're done, wipe it down and no space is wasted. And then again, just a short walk back from the living room. Here we have the bed. And it's got a lot of storage here. There's little drawers under the bed here. So again, it's all about making the most out of the limited space that you have. And behind the bed you have the windows, from where you're afforded lovely views of the opposite side of one of the monster building blocks. So that's it. That's this apartment in a nutshell. Now, it is worth noting that this is one of the subdivided units. So you'd hope for, especially for families, they'd probably have not a subdivided, or at least a less subdivided unit, so they'd have more space. But that doesn't mean that all the apartments in the monster building are dark, dingy holes. In fact, you know, quite the opposite. Like, as you can see here, it's very bright, very nice, and it obviously makes you creative with your space to make the limited amount of it that you have work for you. So there you have it. This is what life is like for many of the residents that live here in the monster building. At its worst, this place, as we've seen, can be cramped, dingy, damp, dark, and all the other adjectives that make up the popular image of this place. And honestly, I'm not disputing that. This probably isn't the most attractive place to live in Hong Kong. But as is the case with so many big cities these days, land is at a premium, and in Hong Kong that means that living spaces are comparatively small, and that's just the case for hundreds of thousands of Hong Kongers living across the city. However, after exploring this place and meeting one of its residents, I can tell that there's something a little bit special about the monster building. This place has a soul, it has a sense of community, a sense of togetherness, and in a city that unfortunately sheds its past so quickly, this place has a character that is so quintessentially Hong Kong, and for that reason it would be a damn shame if it ever were to be torn down. So it's a bit of a relief then that the monster building seems to not be going anywhere anytime soon, as well as it undoubtedly being an absolute logistical nightmare to buy out all the residents that live here. The mall underneath this building has recently been renovated, and that suggests that for now at least there is a future for the monster building. So while it's here, let's treasure it. Let's see it, let's patronize the local businesses that exist here. But when you come here, it is really important to remember that this place belongs to the locals. So when you are trying to get that perfect shot or the perfect Instagram story, just remember to respect people's space and their privacy. And if we all do that, then we can continue to enjoy the monster building and everything that it stands for as long as it stands here.
And that concludes our exploration of the monster building. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course share this video with all your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Hong Kong Hoods.